You can be a Christian in the morning, a Muslim in the afternoon, and a traditionalist in the night. But you cannot be Yoruba in the morning, Igbo in the afternoon, and an Hausa person or Fulani in the night. I repeat, it is possible for you to become a Christian in the morning and a Muslim in the afternoon, then a traditionalist in the night. It is very, very possible. But it's not possible for you to become a Yoruba person in the morning anytime. Then in the afternoon, you are Hausa, or in the night, you become an Igbo person. It is not possible. That's why we're saying our culture, our tradition, our heritage comes first before religion. With this analogy, there are reactions that the time frame for the 21 days given by the owner of Ife for the culture and ritual rites, the Oro, people not coming out, is not favorable to the Muslim. The time frame given by the owner of Ife is not favorable to the Muslim because this is a season of Ramadan, that they can push that 21 days curfew to another date other than when Ramadan fasting is going on. I am going to be reading comments, reactions to this particular topic, but we are establishing the fact that you can never be Yoruba in the morning, Hausa in the afternoon, and Igbo in the night. But you can become a Christian in the morning. In the afternoon, you can change to become a Muslim. In the night, you can decide to be a traditionalist. So we are establishing the fact that our culture, identity, our heritage comes first. Any other thing that wants to undermine our identity, our culture, our heritage is not permitted, is not wanted. Now, go on Twitter. There's this man called Karumi Adini. He says, this release announcing Oro for 21 days in Oyo town is ridiculous and clearly not well thought out. Anyone who knows Ramadan in any Yoruba town with population of Muslims like Oyo knows how busy it gets for Muslims. And it isn't only during the day. Taraweeh prayers in the night, lecture series in the night, Tahajjud prayers for some, and the extremely busy last 10 days of Lailatul Qadr. It is an intense period already that tests people's resolve. All this is supposed to be closed so that Ikwebi rites should be done. The Ikwebi rites can be moved to after Ramadan. That way, this kind of order can have a real effect. And before some ignorant ones start talking of culture, the Alaafin designate himself traveled for over 1 month to Canada and nothing happened. If that can happen, Ikwebi can also be moved and culture won't be destroyed. Because what destroys culture is when people openly defy this kind of order, go ahead with their Ramadan programs in spite of threat of Oro, and nothing happens. It's Ramadan and people should not pray Taraweeh or listen to night lectures or do Lailatul Qadr because of Oro. I beg. So what this man is saying is that this 21-day curfew or ritual that everybody's going to stay indoors, that it's the time that it is being scheduled is clashing with Ramadan, that they can postpone it. It doesn't undermine the culture. The only way it's going to undermine the culture is when people openly defy the order of the Oro. So if you are listening to this broadcast, I want to get your comment. Should the traditionalist, should the owner of Ife postpone his 21-day cultural rite or ritual because of Ramadan? That is the $1 million question. Should the owner of Ife postpone his 21-day cultural rites because of Ramadan fasting? He says that most of the activities of this Ramadan is in the night, and you expect people to be moving in the night. So, however, which one comes first? I want your reaction. But we understand one thing, and that thing is that looking at history, Islam has tried to undermine the culture and traditions of people. That one is clear. Whatever history that is. However, Islam came into this part of Africa. You see that when Islam comes, they introduce their religion speaks against your culture, and Islam takes the forefront. But this generation of us, if we are accepting any religion, we are not going to accept any religion that undermines the culture. there should be a kind of dialogue between the Muslim body and the owner of Ife. There should be a rapport for that to happen. But anything that has to do with Hizbah coming to forcefully enforce, anything that has to do with enforcing, is not going to work. Anybody that wants to openly defy the Oro is free to do it. But we are not going to allow any religion undermine our traditions. Any Fulani, jihadist, extremist ideology laced with religion, we are not going to allow it undermine our culture. Most of us are very, very religious. I understand what this man is saying. I'm very, very religious. I understand there are some practices that are barbaric or, however, not part of culture. For instance, in Igbo land, all this Okite and everything is not part of our culture. Those Okite, they are doing blood money, blah, blah. That all these DBS, these Babalawos or these native doctors are doing in Igbo land, we know it's not part of our culture. We understand. But the rights, the Oro, and that of the owner of Ife, you cannot tell me it is barbaric. Yes. Let's look at another reaction. What is it about a tradition that restricts people's rights to move freely? They advocate for democracy when it favors them, yet they champion a tradition that forcefully denies people their right of movement. Is this the kind of peaceful tradition they want us to embrace? Look at the name, Sahid Imran. You understand that he's talking from a perspective. Now looking at this particular one, servant of Allah, he says paganism is not a culture. In fact, even the culture itself absolves itself of those barbarism. So are you calling the 21-day ritual rites and the Oro curfew barbarism? I'm asking the question. In the name of traditional religion, rituals that has no place in any reasoning modern civilized world, Muslims must stand up to this. All this is happening because you refuse to unite. So it is a Muslim, of course, that is having this conversation. Then when we have to direct the conversation to Islam now, you say people is speaking against a particular religion. You say paganism is not a culture. Like what Hizbah and northern governors are doing, it is not applicable in a modern civilized society. We have said it. Saudi Arabia will not close schools. Saudi Arabia, the epitaph of Islam, will not close schools. But you are talking about modern civilization. No curfew. But when some people want to do their fasting, they'll tell you, don't do this, don't do that. They come, destroy, and have a lot of, they will impose so many things on you by force because they're having a Ramadan. So why are you against the 21-day right? Let's see whether the people of Oyo will adhere to their culture over Islam, or the Muslims in there will go against the culture of the people, or they will have to come together to reason together. We understand that some elements bastardize the culture of the Yoruba people, especially with the election, the last election we had. When they mentioned Oro, I remember what happened with Oro. They brought in Oro because of election. We know that there are instances where people bastardize their culture and tradition because of politics and money. Yes, there are instances. What happened during the elections in Lagos State? Oro came out because of elections. So I have to stop some people not to vote. We understand those barbarism and bastardization. But this one, anything that has to do with full... See, not that we don't understand what is happening, but anything that we want to endear or give a breathing space for any jihadist extremism, we don't want. Anything jihadism and extremism in the southern part of Nigeria, we don't want. Somebody is asking whether I'm half Yoruba, half Igbo. No, I'm not half Yoruba, half Igbo. I'm Igbo. The reason why I'm advocating for this is because at a point, if you have Sharia in the southwest, it will spill over to the eastern part of Nigeria. We have Igbo Muslims, and little by little, some of these Igbo Muslims are having they have an Igbo Bible now. They have Igbo imams that are being appointed at Abuja High Mosque. They are having Igbo sessions. They are becoming more emboldened because of what we are seeing and what is happening in the south today. So the reasons why I'm speaking up on these issues is because anything that has to do with you allow the Fulani have a little foundation, step their foot using religion in your territory, my brother, it is going to be very hard for you to take them away. How hard it is for Ilorin to be absolved of a Fulani, a Yoruba person from Ilorin will be saying that he has ties with the Fulani Caliphate. There's a lot to this. I was watching Hamas and their captives. There's this thing whereby they take somebody captive and torture him, and at the end of the day, the captive fall in love with his captor. The captive falls in love with his captor. So this is an experiment that have been tried over and over again. So it seems what the Fulani does is that they use religion, they come in, and they do I don't know what they do. It is now going to be difficult for you to start speaking up like what's happening in the northern region. The houses are there, they don't have president, they don't have governor, but they cannot do anything. They cannot do anything. Even when your eyes is open, you cannot do anything. So it is better that you don't allow any menace of anything, extremism, jihadism, in the guise of a Fulani man coming to undermine your culture and tradition, undermine and disrespect it. Then he now imposes himself on you. We have said it over and over again that until a Yoruba man or a Yoruba Muslim or an Igbo Muslim becomes the Sultan of Sokoto and heads that Muslim body, then we'll start taking these people serious that they don't really want to use, however, Sharia into and try and dominate the space. We understand what is really going on. I've said it, every region has their agenda. Every tribe has their agenda. The Fulani has a separate agenda from every other tribe and region. The Fulani, theirs is to dominate, and they are using Islam to dominate. The Fulani cannot use Christianity to dominate now. The Fulani are new. They cannot use Christianity. They know it is Islam, where they can enforce and tell you that you don't have you don't have a say. You must listen to one person, and that one person that will be at the top, the Fulani will make sure that they carry their own person put at that top, so that every one of you will listen to that one person, because that's how Islam rolls. You listen to the religious leader. The religion, listen to the religious leader. So now the Sultan of Sokoto is now there. So they bring in Sharia and everything. They start preaching teachings of extremism, however, moving political, like what the Yoruba are advocating for, that first, Yoruba first, Yoruba first. Our jobs, Yoruba first. The same Fulani, when they get into the southern part of Nigeria, they will not be using Islam religion, a Muslim first. Muslim first. Any position they want to, if they by mistake with their pretense and manipulation, and you give them an appointment, and over the years they start pushing, okay, maybe the appointment, the Muslims, for instance, in Enugu State, let's say we have 10% of those there are Muslims, and we have 10 posts. So the Muslims now be fighting. Give us one post now. Give us one post. Give us one post. They give you one post. One post, they fight for 2 posts. From 2 posts, they start pushing for some policies. When they have like 3 or 4 posts, they start imposing themselves on you. So they will be pushing for Muslims to get into politics, Muslim governor, Muslim this. The way they push until we have Muslim ticket. And they know that Nigerians these days have nothing they can do about anything. About anything. They have nothing they can do about anything. They will just sit down and watch things go bad. So they will push their agenda. At the end of the day, nothing happens. I like the way Yoruba elders are settling these issues. I don't know whether they are going to change the 21-day right to so far this has been announced in Oyo'S state. The Alaafin came back. Whether they maybe they consulted a lot of people and a lot of things. So far, this curfew has been announced by the palace. I don't know whether there can be an engagement and dialogue for this man to shift it. I don't know. Somebody saying that maybe he left for Canada for 21 days. Somebody that was appointed, somebody that was chosen, he needs to go back and rearrange himself. He has businesses, he has so many things. he needs to leave behind and become the owner of Ife. So he has to go there and arrange himself. If not, he will have settled and done his 21. So however it coincides, let's see what happens. Let's see what the government will do. I hope people will not openly defy the Oro. I hope people will not openly defy the Oro. Even when they use it for political reasons, people never defied the Oro. Respect for culture. The thing I want them to, you should get into their medulla, their cerebrum. Their cerebrum is that tradition comes before religion. That is what I want them to get. Tradition comes before religion. I've said it, let me repeat it again. You cannot be a Yoruba person in the morning, an Hausa person in the afternoon, and Igbo person in the night. It's not possible. You can only be a Christian in the morning, an idol worshiper in the afternoon, and a Muslim in the night. It is possible. It tells you the importance of your identity, your heritage as a person, your tradition. It is not in your place to start saying, this is barbaric, that is barbaric. You meet the progenitors. You have this conversation with them about this and this and this and this. Of course, that is the right way to do than just come and start casting. Because most of these Muslims that are saying this thing now, if we start having to point our fingers at some of the practices of Islam that does not go down well with people, we have a lot of things to say. A lot of things to say. I tell you, we don't want to go there. We respect you, practice your religion, but don't let your religion trump on other people's right to practice theirs. And let's know which is superior. Get it. See, the superior one is the tradition. You cannot go physical. You want to start going physical, the Southerners are not Northerners. The Southerners are not Northerners. You can't go physical and go against the laws of the traditionalists. You don't know who is the owner of Ife. I don't blame that imam that says imam cannot bow to an Oba. Do you know who is the owner of Ife? Alaafin for you. Do you know? These are those that hold the sacred Yoruba heritage. They tell you about the Yoruba people. No matter how Islam was introduced in the southwest in Yoruba land, no matter who is the ancestor of who, culture is culture. Whether Oduduwa came from the king of Mecca, whether he left, he went against Islam. Before Muhammad got the Holy Quran and everything, culture established where we had culture. We had culture. Before Jesus came, we had cultures of people. So culture has been existing for a very long time. Culture identifies you as a person. We should not mistake it. No mistaking priority whatsoever. Now, I want to put this out. I'm going to do a broadcast about it. I'm very concerned about the Enugu state. And we don't want a situation whereby our mothers and fathers will be placed in IDB camps because some people refuse to do the needful. When these ESN were there, when they were there, they did all they can to stop this Fulani whatsoever. People were leaving their homes. Look at what happened in Ebonyi State. People ran away from their ancestral home. Is that the practice? How can a sovereign country, allow such a thing happen? Repeatedly, for almost 15 to 20 years. And you expect people to still believe in the country, whereby some people just come from nowhere, come and start destroying your farms. And you cannot contain these people. That's one of the reasons why I'm saying, allowing this Fulani anywhere is a... Don't even allow the symptom, don't allow any one dot of them, because now, because of Nigeria, the Fulani can reside. The Fulani, when they go to any place, they become a menace, they become a problem. They actively start destroying your belongings. They actively start kidnapping. They actively start raping. They just, because of one Nigeria, that give them opportunity. You know, when a Fulani comes to a place, people feel so bad, because they know that when they come, there's a possibility that some evil activities will be happening. The Fulani themselves cannot contain the bad ones amongst them. Instead, they do as if, I don't know, they keep quiet and they keep on. So, No IDP camp in Enugu State. We are not going to accept IDP camps in Enugu. It's not possible. It's never ever possible. It is impossible. We don't want. The governor should do what he needs to do. Instead, we are all speaking against some of these freedom fighters, having to position many in the bushes to stop these killings, to make the farms safe, where we have the police, we have the navy, we have the air force, we have the army. They can't be able to stop this menace. And it continues from day to day, continues from month to month, continues from year to year. You want the people to be helpless. When the people want to help themselves, you stop them from helping themselves. The government at this point cannot help them. Because if they could help them, why is it resurfacing again? When these agitators desire to help themselves, have you heard about those killings as it were? When they decided to help themselves, when the people decided to help themselves, have you heard about the killings as they were? So we should understand what is going on. We don't want a situation whereby our mothers will be in IDP camps. There's nowhere we will accept IDP camps in the southeast. There's nowhere we do not accept it. Instead, the Fulanis, those killer Fulanis, they should be brought together. Let's understand what is their problem. Let them get a ranch, buy a ranch for themselves. If they cannot, because of one Nigeria, all these things are happening. Because of one Nigeria, all these things are happening. If there were no one Nigeria, we won't be in this situation in the first place. But what the heck? This is one Nigeria. And one Nigeria is bringing so many pains and sorrows to the people. That's why we are fighting now that this Sharia should not come. When you allow Sharia come, you are inviting the Fulanis. And when you invite the Fulanis, in the north, they are the champions of Islam. So they'll bring their own champions, they align with your local champions, and they start doing all sorts of things they can. They start influencing with their ideologies and their way of life. And they have an aim. I've told you, everybody has an agenda. The southwest, southeast, middle belt, south have the agenda. But the Fulani agenda is for them to dip the Quran in the Atlantic Ocean and take over your lands, erase your culture. You can see examples of what is happening. What is happening in the north, if you allow these Fulani guys using Sharia, using all these small children tactics to come into the southern part of Nigeria, I hope what happened in Ilorin will not repeat itself, because remove Fulani from Ilorin, go and try it. Go and try and remove Fulani. It's only one Nigeria that can make that happen. So our mothers and fathers would not accept IDP camps in Enugu State.